We are Green Room Radio. Welcome back to the show, Super James. Tru and Domo checking in for another episode.
What up, what up?
2023 is here.
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah, we got a special guest today.
Hip-hop royalty in the building, man. DC.
Yes.
Welcome to this. Do you hate those intros?
No. Hey, man.
Like,
do
keep
what
it
you gotta
coming.
do. You know? Hey, before we get started,
Uh-huh.
I gotta get something off my chest.
Uh-oh.
Sprinkle. I hate doing that, but everybody loves when I do this.
I know that.
like
That's your
Wow.
ice
Is
cream
like-
brand. There's an ice cream brand.
Is that like
really?
is that like a walk up to you and ask you to do that type thing when people see you?
Everybody just, that commercial came out during the pandemic,
Oh,
and it brought so many people joy because that's what everybody needed, and everybody was stuck at home.
I was gonna say like people that wouldn't normally watch
So
TV or whatever,
when
they
you were
had to watch it.
When you were saying sprinkles, so that was on ice cream. You weren't talking about the sprinkles, the cupcake people, right?
Mm-mm.
No. That
Yeah,
was
there's
what brand was the?
I know he
the
did
commercial. Yeah.
The Geico commercial, right?
Yeah.
At the end, so going into the Geico commercial because I'm an actor, I prepared. I could have just went in like
Were you the
anybody
lizard
else.
guy on there?
Hey. I'll take that lizard guy's money.
Yeah, that guy's paid.
But going in, I'm an actor, so I'm like, let me prepare some things because I want to make this my own. And I was like, I know kids love sprinkles. I don't know why.
Oh, so that was you. That was a you thing.
Yeah.
That was it.
I was
That
like, I
wasn't
don't know
some
why,
random
but
director?
I know we got to have sprinkles. So I had like 4 different sprinkles. And I had the old little, LeBron James doing the chalk. We're going to do sprinkles. I had the Salt Bae. We was going to do sprinkles.
yeah.
Sprinkle food fight. Like, I just made up stuff just in case. They're like, well, show us what you want to do. I could do it.
You walked in ready to go.
I walked in ready to go, prepared. I had like 7 things. The spinning scoop. I was
Yeah.
like, I need a spinning scoop, but I couldn't find nobody to fabricate it. They were like, it'll be done for you, DC. I was like, whoa, big time, right?
It is.
And
So did when they approached you guys
scoop, there it is.
was it a
you
yes
guys
right
did
away?
scoop There It Is in concert too, Don.
Yeah.
Was it a yes right away, or did you have any second thoughts
so
on it?
here's why what I do is special, because 2011. I get a call. I'm DJing at the club. I get a call like, DC, you got to come to the front door, get the phone. I was like, man, take a message. It's like, this girl will not get off the phone. I'm like, which one of these heifers I'm thinking. But I was like, let me go.
Was that a scare right there?
Yeah,
Was that
So this is when there was
That
still
was a
the
scare.
there was still
I'm
the
at the club.
corded
Yeah,
still the corded phone.
Huh?
Still like a corded phone, not a cell phone.
No. But it was, it was at the front door.
At the front door,
Right?
yep.
And so I said, look, I'm working. The record about to go off. You got to call me at this number in the morning. She was like, okay. It was a reporter from the New York Times. And she was like, I could not find you for nothing. I said, well, she said, it took me hours to find you. I said, well, what's up? She's like, have you read the Gawker article? And the Gawker article was everybody in the world thought Barack Obama was in our video. Boom, there it is. Because they took a frame and it looked, L.A. Snow from the group Deuce, who made the song Look at Them Daisy Dukes on.
Yeah.
He looked exactly like a young Barack Obama. So everybody's
that's
blowing up my phone. And for 2 weeks, I'm doing
shit.
ABC, NBC, CNN,
But
Jenny
where
Most.
someone just brought it up randomly? Like what?
Gawker, that's what Gawker used to do.
Oh, okay,
You know what
just-
I mean? Gawker
just
was like
like
the big
yeah,
troll
yeah.
back then before
Okay.
trolling was trolling.
Yeah.
So he started the rumor.
Yeah, they started the
They started
rumor,
the rumor.
and they had the little picture, but everybody kind of hated him, so
Did you
everybody
know?
just
Did you know who they were talking about when they first said that right away?
yeah.
Oh,
I knew
you
what
already
they were
knew.
talking about. Yeah. I was like, I saw the picture, I was like, that's Snow, but I'm gonna play with it.
Yeah.
And for 2
Right,
weeks, we ran the gauntlet of everything press, and it pissed me off at the end of that 2 weeks because I had no money to show for it.
Oh man.
And I'm the
Could've
type
all this
of,
work.
this has been my thing, that when something like that happens, I vow that shit will never happen again. And that's what started my search engine optimization career. The ability to get on the front page of Google to get your money, right? And fast forward 2020, we're in the middle of the pandemic. I get a call from my acting agent, Lena. She's like, DC, you just booked a Geico commercial. It's like, why are you playing with me? I ain't even auditioned for no Geico commercial. What the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, no, DC, tag team. And I was like, oh, shit. So I go check the tag team phone. Sure enough, hey, DC, this is Ashley with Geico. We want to put you guys in the commercial. Boom, 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 boom. But they didn't wait for me to call back. They went to my IMDb because all my profiles I filled out immaculately.
Oh wow.
And now they call my agent and she calls me. And I'm like, well, shit.
You hadn't even read the text and the deal was already done?
It's already done. So I was like, I had to explain to them the whole saga of tag team. And then with the owner of the agency. And she's like, tell them we want this, 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 and this. and they gave us this, that, and some of that. And it's the biggest deal I've ever made in my life.
Whoa.
Those commercials are no joke.
And that's when the hard part started, because it was like, okay, we got a commercial. And it was like, it's going to be called Soup There It Is. I was like, man. So I'm looking for the Seinfeld Soup Nazi episodes, because I'm trying to get ideas and shit, right? Yeah. But it's like, no, we're going to do ice cream. And I was like, hell yeah, because that took me back to my childhood, because my father we used to make homemade ice cream. And he'd get the big cylinder, and he put the egg, sugar, vanilla, and the strawberries, and we get the ice ray with the rock salt, and me and my brother just cranking it. And 20 minutes, we got big spoons. It's 2 kids eating ice cream. And I wanted to bring that essence to it for everybody. And that's what happened. And that day, and we shot this shit in the middle of COVID. I mean, we got tested so many times, and it was...
Where was this at? What state?
Atlanta. Right? And it was incredible, because just like our show was, that energy... Yeah. That was the energy all day long, and they couldn't believe they still got energy, and it's been 8 hours. Like, that's what we do. Like, this got to be
years of doing it.
Yeah, and so then it was over, and now I'm sitting here waiting. They send it to me, and I look at it 100 times, and I'm trying to find fault, and I cannot find anything. And they dropped it Christmas night, and changed the game.
That was Christmas 2020.
Christmas 2020, yeah, Christmas 2020. That night, we had a global YouTube campaign. So anybody type in YouTube, that picture is on the front.
Wow, that's
crazy. And it was instant.
And then you brought up the scoop. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so this was a year later, when we were supposed to do this big promotion in New York, but then the Omicron variant came and crushed everything and shut everything down again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, we still want to do it, but we're going to do it. We're going to make our ice cream. So we got Mikey Likes It Ice Cream in New York. He does like a lot of hip hop ice creams.
Mm-hmm.
So he did this one. And we had a sweepstakes where if you make a TikTok video, how much you love the commercial, you get a pint of ice cream. And it was incredible.
Did you guys ever distribute, or it was just on?
We tried, but it was like, that's one of the things you got to hit when the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Geico ain't in the business of making ice cream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like two different worlds.
It's like 4 different worlds. I'm trying to make pitches for it. I'm trying to do it. But I learned from that. So I'll be prepared next time. Right? Like, this experience taught me make pitches for everybody. I make pitches for NBA teams, everybody, to do shows, promoters, everybody. Send them a pitch. It's almost like I be telling people, I talk to people all the time. It's like, I'm putting together this little pamphlet. It's like a lookbook. They're like, you don't need to do that. Just send them emails. Like, no. Because if I sent 5 lookbooks and you just had them laying around, but the shit is dope, you see a picture like, what the fuck is that? Damn, that shit is dope. And you open it and you look at it, and I'm planted another seed.
Oh, yeah.
It's old school.
Everyone else is sending emails.
Yeah, but it's old school because now you have something that you can hold. It's almost like a demo tape, the right demo tape. You see what I'm saying?
Makes 100% sense.
You gotta go back to the old school and use those tactics, but in a different way, in an innovative way that is today. You still send a pitch deck, in emails or in whatever, but you hear people talk about, I'm gonna send an electronic press kit, and it's like, why are you doing that? It's because, well, it depends on how you do it, right? So if you do it where it's just eye candy, then that's what helps. That's why every show I hire a photographer. You see, Scribble had photographers, videographers, because it makes you look epic. It's real now.
Mm-hmm.
When a person sees a picture of you, it's real.
Yeah.
As opposed to a selfie or you trying to do your
own.
There's a big
difference from.
But then I'm a fashion photographer, so therefore I can retouch my own thing. I can do all the graphic. Like, I've learned to do everything, but that came from the clubs, because you have to make yourself invaluable. I'm not just your DJ. I'm your light guy. I'm your sound guy. I'm your fashion photographer. I'm your, I do all the voiceover for your television commercials, voiceover for your radio spots. You have to hire 10 people to do what I do. So I got all these streams of income coming, especially with strip clubs, because it's just, strip club to me is the game show where you get in the cylinder, you got a minute to get all the money that's floating around.
Yep.
That's an 8-hour period.
Yeah.
And I was masterful at it. I would walk out because I would make sure everybody else had their money. And then everybody's hitting me 10, 20, 50, 100. And I walk out with that. Plus I'm getting paid. Plus I do all the marketing. Plus I do this. Plus I do that. Plus I'm hustling mixtapes. Plus I'm selling food. Plus I'm selling hand fans because women's hair get hot. Plus I'm selling, see, you see what I'm saying? Hustle. And everything is about pain points. What's pain points for women? Black women, their hair gets hot. It could be cold outside, but if their hair gets hot and they just done it, it pisses them off because now it's sweated out.
Yeah.
So I got these Oriental hand fans from New York. The most incredible win. I get them for $1, sell them for
Get out of
$15.
here.
I would go to New York and get all the knockoff shit, come back down.
Dan Diamond better be paying attention to this.
What else are you selling them?
Huh?
What else are you selling the women?
Whatever they want. I mean, seriously, like I could have set up like the house mom, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't gonna do like it. I had even thought about learning how to sew so I could sell costumes.
Ooh,
I used to sell weave.
Yeah.
I used to sell, because it's that game show.
Did you say weave or weed?
Hair weave. Shit, I saw weave.
Weed too.
Remember back when they had the cans?
Yep.
They screwed off.
Sure do. Yeah, she speaks a lot of house moms. Saying
the
she
house
buys,
moms.
they bring in
Dude,
food, dinner.
I actually got now this house mom at the club. I dance at a Hippo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, she's killing it. She's making these nice meals, healthy meals.
Healthy meals.
I'm like,
Meal prepping?
I never called a house mom, but I was like, Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah. But that's what happens,
Yeah.
right? I started doing that because I used to sell porn videos. Because I was telling you that I had one of the first black porn sites, afrosex.com. And I used to get the videos too, but I would sell them at the club, real time.
Oh shit.
And I would have some of the girls, they'd be like, "Give me a handful of them." She'd come back with a whole bunch of money. And I was like, "Here, man." She's like, "I don't want no money. This shit is fun. It gets me table dancing." Right?
Okay, it's an icebreaker. It's
an icebreaker,
yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but see, that's how you teach people how to make money,
You're
right?
giving me ideas.
See, I see girls, like, especially at places out here like Spearmint Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I feel like they need a leader like you because they almost become robots.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to the back room? Do you want to go to the back room?
Oh my God.
But it's like they could be selling so many different
Oh my
things
God.
besides
I like
these
to take
dances.
my time, build a little rapport before I
Yeah.
get
But
into
then
that.
that's how the game
But
changes.
those
from
videos were their way
Oh,
of
the
doing
video-
that.
Yeah,
I should bring my videos. God,
And-
what the
and-
fuck
Yeah.
am I doing?
I was like, "Well, what can I do?" She's like, "You cook good, don't you?" Like, "Yeah." She's like, "Make me a banana pudding." I said, "All right." Made her banana pudding. But all the girls were downstairs in the dressing room. It was like, "Make me one." So I made 8. It was like, I make a pound cake. I make a pecan pie. So now I'm making pies, selling pies
You're
for
selling
$15 a pop.
pies? Yeah,
Because
I
everybody
love
else
pies.
wants one.
I thought I
And
was
it's like,
hustling.
it's like, you don't do no
Yeah.
food? So I was like, okay, I'll do some greens and cornbread.
Ooh.
And they were like, you can't have no greens without no meat. And then that's what started me doing plates. And then I was doing soul food. I was walking in the door with $750 off of plates.
Man, I'm gonna say this
Before you
again.
even clocked in, before you
Dan
clocked
Diamond better be listening to this show right
I
now.
mean, one summer the air conditioner, you probably been through this where the owner's so cheap that he don't want to fix the air conditioner because it makes everybody drink.
Oh,
So-
I don't know.
Yeah. So I took advantage of that by going to where everybody goes and gets the ice cream, get the dry ice, get a big giant cooler, and just fill it with bomb pops and popsicles and ice cream sandwiches and shit. And I would get maybe $100 worth of ice cream and walk out with $700
Dude, I would
because you
God.
gotta feel people's pain points. What's
That's
their
what
pain
I'm
point?
I'm right now. I'm thinking about some of these DJs that I see at the strip clubs, and they're just back there looking like they're dying and shit, like they're just stuck in a mold. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna be like, you guys got to get off your ass and start creating these hustles.
Hey man, you know what I would do? I would go in and I would go hard, like it was 1,000 people in the club, and you will people into the club that way. Club would always fill up because I went hard. Because if you're not going hard, people gonna walk in and walk out, right? And I run through the list fast. Like, well, I gotta go and say nobody in here. Just get up there and dance 3 songs. I'll make it quick. Next thing you know, somebody walk in and throw $100 on stage. They're like, because it was popping. Energy is energy. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Yeah.
Energy moves people, especially when they don't expect it, right? So if it's slow to somebody else, this is my opportunity to break it. Let's go hard as you can just to see what happens. Right? That's it. And I've done that. We do that with tag team shows for, sometimes, not lately. It hasn't been like that in years, but there were times where.
No, your guys' energy was through the roof.
Nobody would be there. The promoter didn't do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. Early time slots.
Yeah. It's like, but it's like, I didn't care because I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go hard because ain't nothing but practice.
Yep.
So let me go out there and go hard. And those 5-6 people that were out there appreciated that shit so much.
Hell yeah.
They're tag team fans forever because we gave everything we had to them. Took pictures with them, signed autographs, everything, right? Mm-hmm. You give what you want first, right? And it was hard because we only got one song. So like, well, can you do an hour? Well, yeah. I was like, how am I going to do an hour? So I said, okay, you got to be a better entertainer. So I said, first half I'll DJ because the 90s set is always going to be the 90s set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just DJ. That's second hand to me. I'm playing the set that I grew up on my whole life, right? So that's the first half hour. But then I was like, I took comedy classes so I could write material to segue songs that people didn't know. So we do a song that people don't know real quick, and then I say, all right, boom, 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 and talk shit and be having everybody laughing because I'm telling jokes, but I'm not. I'm talking to the people. I'm entertaining. We're having a conversation. And then back into another song, And then next thing you know, we're at Whoop, and then all bets are off, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they came for anyway. But at the same time, you weren't just up there saying what everybody else. You've seen groups where they get up there and they just do party sayings and it's the same old party. And then that evolved into, wait a minute, I'm a fucking DJ. If I
Why is everybody a DJ?
If I was DJing back in the day, the dance clubs, and I played a fucked up record and everybody got off the floor, best believe I have another record to get them back. Mm-hmm. We said, we're not going to let the music stop. And the music don't stop. It's a mixtape. Our show is a mixtape from beginning to the end. And that's how you keep the energy. Plus, you just got to, that is my gift. It always has been. It always will be. Because at the beginning of hip hop, there was only one question. Can you rock a party? Can you move a crowd? And that's what I've lived my life by. Right? So everything I do, I'm going hard.
What part of New York were you from?
Not from New York.
I mean, what am I talking about? What part of the ATL?
Buckhead. I lived maybe a couple miles from Buckhead. When I first got to the city, I just drove around. And I got to Lenox Road. How
did you meet Steve? Me
and Steve been boys since high school.
Was he DJing at all or anything like that?
He's kind of what started me DJing. Like I switched high schools when I went from a Catholic school to the public school because I just didn't like the Catholic. I was like, I need to go be with my friends because I stayed in the hood, but not the hood, but I stayed in the part where all my friends were, but
they weren't going to the Catholic school.
They weren't going to the Catholic school. My parents were like, you're going to get an education. So I was like, my mom worked by the high school close to her, so I got to go to school called Manual High School. And I met Steve 11th grade because...
Oh.
Yeah, DPS. Yeah. Oh, you from Denver? Yeah. What? See, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
I'm a manual Thunderbolt through and through.
I was real quick, though, so you were born in Denver, though?
No, I was born in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
But we moved to Denver when I was 4.
Okay.
And I had the greatest childhood ever because Denver was set up for kids to be able to do everything. You could take the bus anywhere because the bus ran north and south. Mm-hmm. So they had routes on every single street where you can go north to south. We would go all over the city. You could ride your bikes to everywhere. You could ride your bikes downtown. You could ride to City Park. You could ride off to the Washington Park. You could walk. We got to play. There was always fields everywhere because every junior high school kid had a field. Smiley High School, right? So I met Steven because my last name's Glenn, his last name's Gibson, so we sat next to each other in homeroom.
So they'd put you in alphabetical order?
Yeah, they put us in alphabetical order, right? And then next to him, got to the P's, the ones on our partners, Otis P, and Steve and them had a band. And I was like, they would play in the quad during lunchtime sometimes. I was like, I got to be in that fucking band. And I just begged them. I just beat their head in. I was like, you got to let me in the band. And then I worked in the truancy office, and I used to hear the choir down the hall. It's like, I got to be in that choir.
Well, what instruments was Steve and them playing in the band?
Steve played the drums, Howie played the bass. Man, and Wayman were lead vocals. Georgette played the boards. Kerry Kirkendall played boards. And then we had other guys who would play here and there, right? Mm-hmm. But once I got in, I was the hustler. I would go get us gigs. I'd find us gigs. I'd make sure everybody had drumsticks and guitar strings. Like I really worked my ass off.
So you always had that mentality even before the.
Yeah, that's why I keep thinking New York, because I'm like, man, you move so fast.
But you know how it happened. So that's how me and Steve met in high school, and then the last thing, the first high school dance I went to at Manual. This was like 83. Was it 83? No, it was 82. And the songs that were out just came out: Planet Rock, Pac Jam. So all the Soul Sonic 4 stuff, Kraftwerk, all that, and I saw them DJing. Steve, Man, Ricky Springs, cats they would DJ in our high school party. I got to do that, and I went and found a raggedy Sherwood turntable, and a raggedy Newmark with a Radio Shack mixer.
It's always the Radio Shack mixer.
And tore up my father's records, and everybody in the neighborhood laughed at me. And here I stand today. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be doing this. So going back to, and this is about, I'm writing a book now, and the book is called Mindset to Mastery, because everybody wants to know, how the fuck how did you get like this? Because your hustle and your energy is just off the charts. And it's just like, I've always kind of been like this, but I got like this from my parents, because I've been stemming collard greens and shucking peas since I was 5 years old. My mother had a prep cook. Father used to make us wash the cars, shovel the snow.
Oh, man.
Rake the leaves, all that stuff. But they gave us choices. It's like, okay, if you don't go to church, you ain't going to go play with your friends. Or if you don't clean up, you can't go play with your friends. And back then, play was everything. So you tried it once or twice, but then it was like, I'm not going to test that no more.
They're for real.
And then, so he knows about this. It was the blizzard of 82. No, it was the blizzard. It was a blizzard before then. I think I was 8 or 9. We were one of the only families that had a snowblower, Denver, Colorado, just in our neighborhood. And we're just kids playing in snow because it's shooting all on the house and everything. Yeah. But then Mr. Grant next door is struggling. So I'm like, Mr. Grant, I got you. And then we just did the whole block. And then that next week, me and my brother coming home from school, people were pulling us to the, hey, come here. It's $20. I was like, man, what? I said, my parents is only giving me $5 a week for allowance. and that back then that was good, right? Yeah. And it was like, wow. And a hustler was born.
That's what I don't think these California people here understand the snowblower and how cool that shit was. Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? But they understand raking leaves. They understand there's other shit they
Same
understand.
Same stuff, mowing the lawn.
Mowing the lawn, all that stuff. And then I had a paper route. I worked for the Rocky Mountain News, right? And had a little 4-block paper route and got up every morning at 5 o'clock and did that. And you hear entrepreneurs saying if somebody had a paper route, they hustlers. Because it takes a lot for a kid to get up and do that. And then when I was about 12 or 13, I worked at the AV department at the university because all I had to do was just wheel around AV equipment, projectors and screens and TVs and shit. So all I had to do was wheel it around. then it's ironic because I worked 14, I worked at Dolly Madison Ice Cream. I
was going to say, this ice cream keeps popping up, man.
Keeps popping up.
You were meant to do that commercial.
Ice cream, popsicles.
Did that. And then 16, here's the thing. I said, Dad, I can go work at Mile High Stadium and sell Pepsis at the Bronco games. He's like, man, fuck that. They're going to take advantage of you, blah, 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 blah. He's just protecting his son. I was like, please let me do this. All right, they're going to take advantage of you. And I went. And I worked my first game in Mile High Stadium. Pepsi, get your Pepsi. That's how I used to do. Had to lie. That's where the voice comes from. You know what I'm saying? Just that cadences and different singing along and, just making it. And people like, hey, give me 5 of those because it was a Piper type situation. That's what I figured out. I always figure shit out. And the first day I worked at Mile High Stadium, I came home with $300 in quarters. Put them on the table. And my father just had to give it up. Like, wow, shit. And I probably would make about $500 every time we did it. Then Steve would work at Mile High State, and that's what got me to go to college. That's what got me the turntables. That's what got me 2 Newmarks, a good mixer, right? And I go to Sac State, and now I'm in California. I'm like, whoa, I like this. And I'm thinking I'm this big shit DJ, so I go to the Qs, to the fraternities, and I'm like, let me DJ your party. So the Q's like, we got you, bruh. And it was the worst DJ experience I've ever had to this day because I was high, smoking green bud, because that was in Northern California, and that was at Humboldt County. All the dudes was from Humboldt County in Northern California, came down and went to Sac State, and they always had the greatest, incredible weed, especially back then in like
I think
the
they
80s.
still do.
But but like the 80s, the stuff that they're smoking now, we was smoking back then. So I was high, drinking 40s, picked up the turntable off, the needle off the wrong turntable. The speakers blew. They was ready to whoop my ass.
Hey, that's where it came from?
They was ready to get me. And, you know, I got out of it, and I vowed that shit'll never happen again. And
so at what age were you when you were doing the
That was
the
college.
Mile High?
18.
18, yeah.
And
That has to be tough walking up and down them steps. I see those people, man. That is a grind.
what?
Just going up
the
and
stadium.
down.
He's talking about the stadium.
the
When you were
stadium.
working at
But
the
I
stadium.
mean, you know, but
Kept you in shape.
Hey, man, money's money.
Yeah.
If I got to walk up some steps to get some money.
They make those steps.
Yeah, they make them
steep,
look
too.
like this. Yeah. So it's like,
just
but
awkward.
you're young.
Yeah,
you ain't even thinking about that.
No.
Yeah.
So
Think about that. Those
yeah,
quarters
yeah.
you're taking home.
So I go to Sac State, and I'm looking. They had this meeting in the dining commons, and they had two big giant ass speakers and a PA system and everything. And I was like, shit, I could throw some parties up in here. And I asked the RAs. I said, hey man, could I rent out the dining commons and throw a party? He's like, you got to move all those tables, and they got to be moved back perfectly when you come back. I was like, cool. And I tried to get all my friends to help me, and nobody would help me. So I paid my dues because I would move about 75 tables, 300 chairs by myself, set that shit up and DJ for everybody in the dorms. And then I would sell mixtapes, mixed cassettes at my parties every Friday, hustling, right?
Oh, man.
And then I was a different type DJ because I loved hip hop. This is the beginning of hip hop. And I would order my records from Bobby G in San Francisco, legendary. I would order from 12-inch Dance Records on the East Coast. So now I was getting all those East Coast white labels. Like people don't know that.
You remember those subscriptions? I forget what they were called.
yeah,
but
the
you
record
could-
pools.
you could
Yeah,
get the little subscription.
But that was later. But I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The you get 12 records for a penny or
Something
for
like-
$1. Yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
so
that
you
was
thought,
basically
yeah.
that was basically a credit hustle, right?
Yeah.
I did that about 4 times. My father was like, "What the hell is this shit?" You know what I mean? It's like, but they said it was for a penny. He's like, boy, don't you know that they? I was like, well, I didn't know. So it's like they had to pay that, but it was, you know, those are lessons. And as a DJ, I got good, but because I was playing stuff that people from all over the country would come into Sac State would know. And I got all these white labels, MC Shan, all Boogie Down Bronx, all the stuff at the beginning of hip hop with Queensbridge used to battle with the Bronx and Brooklyn and everything. I had it all. Plus I had all the stuff from the West Coast, all the Eazy-E stuff, all that stuff was white labels before it came out. I had their first records, NWA, all that stuff. And back then, everything was up tempo because it was Egyptian Lover, Dr. Dre, Surgery. Mm-hmm. Those were the hottest
don't know
records.
about that stuff.
Those were the
Yeah,
hottest
yeah.
records back
And he
then,
used
right?
to dress up like the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff was hot. People, it's cringeworthy now, but everybody because I even cringe. Like it's hard for me with "Won't There It Is" because of what it is. I love it, but it's
just a different era of
this
music,
is just a
though.
different era of music, and we're older, and it's sometimes it's like, but I'm to the bank. Right,
That's what I always want. I always wonder.
Still gonna perform
I
that every
have to
weekend.
ask,
Mm-hmm.
where, when you were writing it, like,
Mm-hmm.
where did it come from? Like, where did you think of this? You
Okay,
just
so
jamming?
Whoop, there it is. While I was working at Magic City. So as I got good in Sacramento, I'm playing all these parties every Friday. And the pinnacle party was when I got my records that Friday from 12-inch Dance Records, and it was my Adidas. And I was like, Run DMC got a new record. Hell yeah. And I played my Adidas, but on the other side was Peter Piper.
Wow.
And that was the coldest shit I ever heard in my life. At that time, that was probably the coldest record ever made. And that night I did the party, and I ended up playing Peter Piper like 8 times because everybody kept saying, just keep playing it. And we partied, and then I ended up starting to do all. I did every single college party for the rest of my days at college, did all the big festivals and events, did the clubs. Everybody found out about me, and I got so much better. And then I came to Atlanta, and just to visit Steve to party for Christmas, it took me straight to Magic City. I have $500 in my pocket.
Magic City's in ATL.
So for those who don't know, Magic City is the premier, world-renowned adult entertainment club for African American.
Yeah, you hear about it in every rap song.
You hear about it in every rap song.
And that, what state is that in?
It's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And they took me there, and in a half hour, $500 had disappeared.
Don't know how.
And I know how. It went to Tinkle. It went to Tinkle and Sparkle. Tinkle was this. You know how they used to say the Amazon women. The Amazon women. They had us pictures of the Amazon. She was an Amazon because she was like 6 foot, stacked, all natural, right? You know, the Parliament Funkadelic album covers. Girls, all the girls looked like that. Even the slim girls were like, everything was natural, right? And Sparkle, she was 5'4", light skinned with a big old booty. That was just she got me. And I had to call my mom and get some more money. So we partied that whole week.
Wait, did you tell her where you spent it?
No, I don't think so. So we partied that whole weekend, right? We partied that whole weekend, and I went back to Cali, and I knew where I was going to go because I was kind of freaking out. I was like, what the hell am I going to do? This is my last year. Ain't shit for me really here in Cali, up Northern California, Sacramento, right? You know, I could DJ, but something just wasn't right.
You didn't want to stay doing that.
It's total different music, right? From ATL to Sacramento. I mean, was it different?
Not really.
Because we were talking about that earlier. The records back then were more like, they weren't regional like they are now.
It's not that. It's that, and this is one of the traits of my DJ ability is that I would always get records from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Every region, right? I would get. So what I would do when I got to Atlanta, I would talk to or get subscriptions from all the radio charts, right? And what I realized that in everybody's hood or every city, they're playing a record from the hood in the mix show. So I got to get that record, right? And I would have that record. So if somebody came, everybody used to come visit Magic City when I started working there because they had to come to Magic City. And if you're from Houston and you hear the hottest record in the streets in Houston, but it ain't popping nowhere else, you looking at that DJ like, that motherfucker know what he's doing. And that's how I got my reputation. So I always played different records from everywhere. But when I got down there, it was like, that was Atlanta Booty Shake. It was like, first record I heard was Success and Effect, Roll It Up. I was like, what the hell is this? And it's all up tempo, right? But it's in the vein of Egyptian Lovers, in the vein of Planet Rock. MC Shy-D gotta be tough. All these cats made these records, Kilo, all of them. So when I get down there, I was supposed to have a job at CNN. But when I went back to Magic City, because that night, I think I got there on a Wednesday. We went and seen Spike Lee do The Right Thing on Friday. And then after that, we went to Magic City, and the DJ was drunk. And I was like, I can do this. Hell yeah. I was like, I went to Big Tim, and I was like, Tim, who's the owner? He's like, Matt, right there. Go talk to him. Hey man, you need DJ? No, I don't need no DJ, but come see me Monday. Went and seen him Monday. He was like, I need a cook. I'm like, all right, you be the backup DJ. So hey, let's roll. I think I cooked 2 orders of chicken wings and a salad. And the DJ who was DJing, he was like, hey man, I need to go run some errands. I need to go do something, right? And he let me on the turntables. And I bought that energy. And the girls had never seen somebody talk articulate and rock the house and bring money out of men like I had. Because it was simple to me.
Did you have a strip club voice?
No, my voice is the voice I have now. Okay. 10 for the top, 10 for the bottom. No tip, no strip. You know what it is, you know what it's not. I need that money. Y'all fucking tripping.
That's a differential.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but you know, I knew it. You know, that's the thing. I'm custom, right? What I do is what I do, and then everybody starts copying me. So I have little skits. I do all kind of stuff. When girls have birthdays, we set it out. It's a production, right? Because I'm always been a showman. I don't know how. I just have been.
So how would you announce Onyx here if she was coming up to stage 3?
All right, fellas, you've been waiting for. Stage 3 is about to be hot as fuck. Got my girl. She's about to get it, and you better not be cheap on her ass. Here we go. Get that money, girl.
Hey.
It could be anything, but it's the crowd, right? You know who's out there. Like one of my things was, if it's a packed club, or even if it's not, I would be like, hey, y'all. I stopped the music, hey, y'all, come on, man. I said, I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for a little bit from everybody. If everybody came and put $1 on the stage, that's $100 because there's 100 y'all in the club. Get your ass on stage and put $1 in the club, motherfucker. Man, $1, nigga. Throw $20 up there. Next thing you know, stage is full of dollars. Psychology.
Well, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But I was good at it because it wasn't about dogging people out and talking about the customers and stuff. You can't call nobody a broke ass motherfucker and expect them to give you some money. Where they do that at? And that's what would happen. But I'd be like, if everybody gives up $2, that's you spend $8 an hour. Come on, man. You just got to explain it to them, right? Yeah. And then it just works, right? And then you play the music hard as fuck. You can speed the songs up because now if you got the club popping and you speeding them songs up, that's $10 every song.
Songs are 20 seconds shorter, 30 seconds shorter.
No, I wouldn't. But I'm not like that, right? I'm not going to do the dudes like that. I'm going to give them 2 verses. If we got it on speed. We got it on speed, you get 2 verses and a chorus, and then I'm into the next one because I'm mixing the whole time. I'm not playing song. I'm mixing. It's a party. Everybody in there dancing.
And this was still with vinyl?
Yeah, vinyl. And that was a hard lesson, too. But that's, when vinyl switched over, I was like, I'll never do DJ with no damn CDs. But then I got, life started passing me by. And I vowed I'll never do that shit again.
Yeah, like I thought, the biggest thing with the DJ show is, it felt like part of the show, seeing them turn around, go through the record cases. Hey man,
there's so many ways you can do it. This is why I tell people, as long as the shit is fly, it don't matter. Right? It don't matter how you do it. If it's fly, like you thought we were making content. That's an iPad that's like that. It's a mixer. So I pre-record everything. I'll sit there and I'll cut that shit. Whoop. Now it's 15 minutes just straight. All Steve got boop, boop.
So you eliminated the DJ position.
You eliminated the DJ because promoters can't stand that shit.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I make it, and that's what I tell promoters. I say, look, we will be the easiest group you've ever worked with. All we need is 3 mic stands, 2 mics. We'll do the rest. You don't need no and an 1/8 inch plug. That's all we need. And when you do so many shows, you got different shows for every situation, right? 10-minute show, 5-minute show, 20-minute show, 30-minute show, 50-minute show, whatever.
What did you guys do out here in Vegas for New Year's?
32.
32, yeah. I knew you did multiple songs.
Yeah, 32-minute show, but you didn't even know because it was just energy the whole way.
It went fast.
Beats was going. Beats was playing the whole time.
And there was a part where you stopped and I thought it was over. And then you brought it back up. I was like, damn.
The encore, right? But those are transitions. You could transition that way, right? Mm-hmm. And if those transitions work better than anything because everybody's like, they were good. Wow. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. What the fuck?
And I done?
And they're like, when they hear that Tasha, you just see, all I see is smiles. Some people are like, I can't believe they fucking doing that shit. But 90% of people out there smiles. That's how I know the impact that commercial had on people because now it's taking them to a place and the whole thing is about getting those memories out of people's hearts, right? The memories just overflow. You remember what you were doing, whoop, there it is. You remember all that shit.
Whoop, there it is. Was at every wedding, everything my entire
Baseball
life.
game, basketball
It still
game,
is.
football.
Everything.
And you asked me, how did that happen? And Whoop There It Is was a party saying back in the day, like throw your hands in the air, wave 'em like you just don't care. And we're hip hop. We're from Denver. We were making hip hop, but we were in the land of booty shake. So when you're in Rome, you got to act like the Romans. I said, hey, Steve, we gotta make an up-tempo cut, dog. I said, we knew what sample we wanted to use. I said, just think Planet Rock. Because he was like, man, I love bass, but I was like, don't think bass, think Planet Rock. Go back to the essence of hip hop. Planet Rock. And he did, and that's where the beat came from, because we used not Orbit, but what did we use? Oh God, I'm getting old. Anyway, the sample that we used was Kano, I'm Ready, right? Yeah. And that was a big club jam. Disco, electronic, black, white, everything. And everybody remembered it. But the way you had the beat up under it was just like, whoa. And I had a whole book full of rhymes. Whoop There It Is was just a song I wrote. I had tried other songs on it, but Whoop There It Is stuck. And all we had was the lyrics and the chorus. All that other stuff came in the studio. Can You Dig It? Shakalaka, all that stuff was just made up on the fly.
So when you did it though, did you know the impact right at that moment? Like, this is it?
Yeah. So it was Thursday in August of 1992. We just got out the studio and I had to go to work. So I bring all my records in, set up and everything.
Magic City, right?
Yeah, Magic City.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the cassette in and played it, because the first original version was a Magic City version, right? It's a song about Magic City, right? Well, the last verse was a Magic City version. And to this day, there's not another record that has had a bigger response that I've ever played. Like 10 people came to the DJ booth like, what the fuck is that? Man, let me get that. Let me get that, man. I was like, I just did this, dog. It was like, man, you got one, dog. You got one. I was just like, whoa. And I had to wait till the next day because we didn't have cell phones back then, right? And I was like, yo, Steve, that shit worked. We got a good up-tempo record. But then my hubris as a young man was like, well, shit, every record I do is going to work. So I'm playing all these other songs, and it's banging, but we got other songs that are good and everybody likes. And this is fast forward to maybe November in the fall. One of the girls was like, how come you don't play that Whoop There It Is shit no more? And I was like, I'll play it. Play it again, same thing happened. But a guy from Columbia Records was in the house, the rep. Because back then, like I said, the reps used to bring us all our records.
Yeah. Right?
So I knew every rep from every major label. And I was good friends with all of them because I used to help them. I wouldn't even call it breaking records. The first record that I broke, I'll tell you how it happened. Doug Craig used to work at A&M Record, or Epic. He bought me a record. He said, man, this record's by Candyman, man. I really believe in this record. It's called Knocking the Boots, man. I was like, all right, let me, I'll play it. And he came back a week later. And he's like, so anybody like that Candyman record? I was like, hold on. Candy, you up next. Candy gets on stage. I play the record. And people like records when the girl dances to the record.
Choreography already
choreographed the whole nine because her name was Candy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not only did she dance, he saw money just come out of everywhere. Because see, back then it wasn't about throwing money. All the money used to go in the garter belts, right?
Yep.
If a garter belt looked like an afro on the leg, that was the equivalent of throwing a bunch of money on the stage.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you could have $400-$500 on the leg, and then you got it double-legged. You just got it's a spectacle. That's what it's all about, is a spectacle. There were dudes who go up there
so good.
and just put them in there and put them in all neat, and then they would pull them over. That's sexy, right?
That is sexy.
So that right there, not only did Candy like it, 3 other girls liked it. So now it's like a radio station. Your record is in rotation. 2 weeks later, he brings all his higher-ups because they didn't believe it and they saw it. And then he was like, DCU, you got something here. And then everybody, all the reps would come to me to see what I wanted because I knew that a girl booty shaking to a record is going to make that record pop. It could be the worst record. I broke some of the worst records, but I never call it breaking records because I never took. You can ask anybody. I never took money for records like most DJs do, because what happens is you take the money and then you play somebody's record that ain't nobody heard of, and the girls on stage cussing your ass out like, "What the fuck is you playing? I can't make no money off this bullshit." That don't help nobody.
You're losing money at that point.
Losing money.
Everyone is losing money.
Now I got $100 in my pocket, but I done lost her because she paid me every night. The dude is looking like, why is she acting like that? And now he done spend $100, don't get his money's worth, right? But what I would do, yo, I don't need no money. Just take 100 ones and throw them on the stage. Really? I was like, yeah, I don't need the money. I'm good. And I'd be like, yo, I'm about to do, we had a code word for it, about to do this thing. They'd be like, okay, make it look good.
Oh, so they knew.
Yeah, they knew. Yeah. I'd be like, it's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he play it, and it could be a worse song, but they would be like, they be dancing to it. And
it's just like you said, it's that energy.
Yeah, it's that energy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And they would have $100 on stage, then everybody else would pay them on stage. And now I'm good for years. I get paid every night $20, $30 for years because I looked out for her. And that's how I did all my girls. So to this day, there's thousands of strippers that love me because I help them make money, right? You don't have to give them money. If you teach people how to make money, that is way more important than you giving them money. Yeah, if I put them on game, be like, look, here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. You can do this, that. This is real simple. Boom, boom, boom. And women just look at me like, and I'll be like, you good? I don't need nothing. You good? I just want you to be better. I want to help you get yours because ain't nobody gonna give you shit.
Right.
Ever.
That resonates. Like I watch girls, like you're saying, it's a slow night.
Yeah.
And they got the stank face on.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like if a girl would just, like you said, come with that energy, that 1, 2, 5 people, they're gonna just gravitate to her.
And it's all easier said than done.
Yes.
This shit ain't easy by no stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all.
But it's what's got to be done. The alternative is not going to get you no bread. It's going to make you bitter, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's why my whole mindset is I try to turn trauma into treasure. We're in a 20-year lawsuit over Whoop There It Is. But I could have looked at the glass half empty. Everybody went through the same shit.
Yeah. Everybody
probably been in here who been an artist, been through that shit, where they didn't get what they think they should have got. Some people didn't get nothing ever.
Was that from someone using it or record label?
No,
stuff?
That's how the whole game works.
Birdman made some money.
That's how the whole thing works. If you know the game and somebody else don't know the game, it ain't their responsibility to tell you the game, right? It's not their response. That's why I tell people, ain't nobody gonna give you shit. So I take full responsibility as a young man because I am a man. And the sooner you take responsibility for your fuck up, the quicker you'll be able to get back on your feet and you won't turn into an old bitter rapper. Because we all know old bitter rappers who didn't get theirs and now they're pissed off and they old, right?
Yeah.
And you can't talk that shit when you old and don't got nothing to show for it, right? But I looked at the glass half full. I said, well, shit, I know I'm gonna get my day in court because there's 2 record companies fighting over these rights. I still got my writer's share, so I still make a good living. I'm luckier than most. But then the real chunk, people's fighting over. So you better become a paralegal so you can know what the hell's going on with your thing because Whoop There It Is my child. Mm-hmm. And it's like my child got ripped away from me and I can't do nothing. Right.
So you don't have the catalog to that?
No, we got the catalog, but that's the whole story. Yeah. I could have just quit, became an old bitter rapper. Yeah. But every time we would go to the label, they would give us boxes of just paperwork, all because they would hire companies that did the PR, go get all the stuff out there, all the articles and everything, right? And I was like, man, what the hell I'm gonna do with all this? But then I would just say, put it in a FedEx box, ship it to my mom. She put it in the trunk in the basement. And that shit came back to serve me so well later on. And I just started studying. I learned why were they fighting? What's emotion? How you go to trial? What's discovery? How do you set it up? Where do I go to look at case studies, right? I'm paying for old cases so I can equate my situation to what other people have been through. Because Biz Markie got hit first with Just a Friend. He got his mouth ripped out, right? Because everybody was using samples. Most people got away with it until we got there. Like 90, man, Vanilla Ice got his mouth ripped out.
Yep.
Everybody's been through this, right? But it's what you do and how you keep going. And for me, I just kept chugging along, and it's like 2003. I'm sitting in a movie theater, and I'm watching Will Ferrell dance on the fucking table to my song. And in the back of my head, I'm like pissed off, right? But I had to sequester that because that's my ego and my pride. And then I said, but what's the glass half full? Motherfucker, you got your record in a hit Christmas movie that is going to play forever during Christmas time. It is up to you to go get your money.
Who said that? Was that Albert today? Somebody said the Whoop There It Is was a Christmas song.
Yeah, because it was in Elf.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's up to me to go get my money. Now I have to sequester all them feelings because I'm in there and I'm like,
is that him dancing?
That's him dancing. I'm sitting in the movie theater like, what the fuck?
Did you know before you went to watch it?
No, that was the problem. That's even crazier. It's like they made the deal without me.
It's one thing to go watch it because you know.
Yeah. But then I'm just sitting there looking, laughing at the movie, and then all of a sudden, whoop, there it is coming. I'm like, these motherfuckers.
Now, when you guys did the record deal, did you have management at that time, or did you kind of do that on your own?
We had man.
I mean, not that would save anything.
You can say you have management. You can say you have legal.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't know what the hell they doing, you're still screwed.
Yeah.
We did everything.
A lot of people.
We did everything we wanted. We were supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
And we hired a lawyer. We had management, but we was doomed from the beginning because if your lawyer don't know about music publishing, and know that there's two sides of music publishing, and we only cleared the sample on one side, didn't clear the sample on the other, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what happened. It wasn't because we didn't try. It's just because that's how fate did us. So now our career stopped because they're about to put a stop on Whoop There It Is. If y'all don't pay us, we're going to take all of them off the shelves. We got 1 million records out there. Right? So we go back to, and this is the thing. This is how it happened. I'll never forget. It was Blizzard of 93. And I made some cassettes. This was before we even got the deal. And it was the Blizzard of 93, and the Blizzard started on a Friday. I had the cassettes in on a Wednesday. I went back the next week. It was in 2 record stores, and we had sold like 800 cassettes in one weekend. So we sold out, and 8 Ball and MJG's first album sold out. Right? And I knew.
That's in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta. So when I was telling you that we talk about breaking records, Alan Cole was like, who is that? When he heard it the second time I played it. I was like, that's my record. He's like, man, give me that. I'm going to New York. So he goes to New York, gives it to Columbia Records. They're like, we like this. But everything back then was New York, L.A. They didn't know what to do with a record from down south.
Yeah.
Right?
I know that.
Nobody knew what to do. So everybody's giving me the runaround. I'm like, this could work with everybody. I give all the reps the record. They send it to everybody. Everybody's like, we want to do something, but we want to.
They didn't know what to do.
They want to develop you and blah. I was like, man, I ain't got time because it's a party saying now there's 5 other Whoop There It Is records.
I was going to ask you that the 95 South had one at the exact
95
time, right?
South had one. Mm-hmm. Disco Rick had one. I didn't even know Disco Rick had one.
But it was just because that scene was so big.
There was 3 other groups in Atlanta that had it. A-Town Players had one, right? So what did it for me is I gave it to the radio station, Ryan Cameron. B103 is a station in Atlanta. They didn't play rap. But I gave him the vinyl, well, not the vinyl, but the instrumental, and he would play the instrumental on the music bed. And everybody like, what is that song? What's the beat? There's got to be a song to it. And they started requesting the song. And that's how they turned from not playing rap in rotation to playing rap in rotation. And I almost gave up because everybody's giving me the runaround. And Lisa McCall, she worked for Mercury Records. She was like, you need to call Al Bell. For those who know, Al Bell is, in the beginning of soul music, there were 3 labels. It was Berry Gordy in Motown. It was Philly International. And then it was Stax Records. And Al Bell owned Stax Records. Isaac Hayes and all the stuff like that, right? All them old soul classics. And he had put out the record before Daisy Dukes by Deuce.
Oh man,
and it went gold. I was like, shit. Yes, that's right up my alley. I could go gold. I don't give a damn. I'm just trying to get put on. So I call him, and he takes him like 2 weeks to call me back. I damn near forgot. He's like, Mr. Glenn. And I'm like, who's this? Like Al Bell. I was like, hey man, what's happening? I was like, let me tell you something first off before we can get to talk. I said, I've tested this record. I'm the hottest DJ in the city. I DJ at all the biggest clubs. I said, you need to sign us now because this record is hot. And he was like, okay. And I was like, oh, man, don't be playing with me. I'm playing my emotions, Smokey. Right? I was like, you ain't even heard the record. And I'll never forget these words. He was like, brother, I don't have to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit. Let's agree to agree. Get this thing moving. Like, bet. Gave my 2 weeks in Magic City. Signed a messed up record deal. And in a month and a half, Tag Team was platinum. And the rest is history. Right?
So when you said you signed a bad deal, that was with the Stacks?
Yeah, that was with Al Bell. It was Bellmark Records. We didn't sign a bad deal, but if I had to do it over, I would have done it totally different. Yeah, but I didn't know what they just, man, record companies back in the day used to just give people, here's a contract. And people just sign it. And it'd be stuff in there like you can never own your records again and blah, blah. Like there's people that got really raped back then. Right? And like unbelievably. There's artists that have sold millions of records that didn't get no money from it. All they got is show money. Yeah. So we were actually lucky to be able to always get our show money and always get everything else but the one side of the publishing. But that was lucrative. So when we doing records with Disney and all these entities, we get a little bit, but it's like for every dollar we get 20 cents, which is still good, if that, right? But you know, it took a lot for me to sequester my pride and my ego and look at the glass half full. And I've become masterful at it. That's why I don't be arguing with people. I got tools for everything that comes because I have watched other people and I try to find the negative, the positive in the negative, right? Because that's what you got to do. So like I was explaining to you guys, like there's always somebody getting it and there's always somebody not. Instead of being pissed off that somebody took your cookie, well, how did they take your cookie? What law did they do that you feel like they did you wrong? The government did you wrong. They obviously made that law to enrich their friends or enrich a certain amount of society. So let me go learn that so I can enrich myself too. You got to be able to adapt or die. And that's what happens. Like everybody, even in the pandemic, everybody is waiting for things to come back the way it used to be. And if you're sitting back here waiting for things to get back the way it used to be, you're going to be sitting here waiting to get back the way it used to be. Because it is a whole new world. It's a whole new frontier out there. And I learned from, I'll never fuck with no spinning no CDs. I'm vinyl all the way. What happens is life pass you by. And then you're stuck. And now DJs who used to suck are better than you. Now you can't get no jobs because you don't know how to DJ with this. You don't got no CDJs. What? I said that'll never happen. So that's what really started me with education. Learn every fucking thing I can learn.
Yeah, you have to update. That is, I still run into people all the time that have been in the music game forever, and they're like, I'm on a cracked version of Ableton 2. And I'm like, come on, man! Like, what are you gonna do when one of these big artists want to work with you? They're not gonna. This is what I just learned on this, man.
And then I've learned how to. This is I coined this phrase, trademarked it. Learn how to learn. It's not enough to just learn. You gotta learn how to learn, right? So I use all these tools to help me learn. Like I listen to 4 or 5 courses a day, but what I'll do is I'll download that course. Make it all one course. It might be 45 minutes. Then listen to it like Alvin and Chipmunk speed. Because if it's a 45-minute course, I can listen to it in 20 minutes and still pick up more than I'm going to pick up by going through it the first time. You're going to have to go through it 5 or 6 times. You don't just listen to a course and then you know it. You got to listen to it over and over and over and over, especially hard stuff. So I put it on speed. I'll be working and it'd be just, wait a minute. Okay. Note to self, write it down. Oh, that's how they do that. Then I can go back to the game tape. All it is game tape, right? That's why Tom Brady is Tom Brady, because all he do is study film. All I do is study film, right? I study film of other rappers, other 90s groups. I study everybody.
You know, it's interesting you said that, because in my career, I that's what I did. I studied what people were doing, and we had a pretty similar thing. She had gone on a podcast, and it was just kind of not really going the way that we would have liked. It was kind of like I don't even know how to say it.
Disrespectful,
sexist towards girls. And she was really mad, and I mean, I knew what she was mad about because I listened to it. And then I was like, okay, well, before we just lash out at these people, like let's try to figure out why they're
find the positive and the negative.
Yeah, yes, and the thing is thankfully there's a big age gap between us. And so I knew, I'm like, just hold on. Let's just see where they're going with this.
Yeah.
And it came back around, and now we know. And I mean, there's still some debate there, but
that's why I say yes.
Keep it open. Keep it open.
Any podcast. I don't care if it's 2 people listening or 200,000 or 2 million or 20 million. Because I've done podcasts with racists. I've gotten blindsided by doing a podcast with some trans people or some drag queens or somebody that's foreign, right? But you can't just be like, what the?
Like, never mind.
Yeah, you gotta be like, oh, okay. So explain to me what.
Flip it on them.
You flip it on them, right? Because I'm good at interviewing as well. Like, I gotta sit here and interview anybody because I know how to lead people to talk about themselves. But then I know SEO, so I know what you already want to do. So I can say, well, tell me about this, because I know it's something that helps you get in front of people that can pay you. So now you're telling everybody what you're doing. Like me writing this book, I'm not writing a book because I want to write a book and be a famous author. I'm writing this book because I'm trying to change the book game, right? Because everybody gets fugazied by the accomplishment. Look, Ma, I'm a published author. I'm on Amazon. Yeah, but you ain't selling no fucking books. Because I have software where I can look at what you do. I can look at your statistics. I know how to do analytics. I know what you're doing.
Speaking of that software, what was that software in music? I know there was something that showed analytics, like
Polestar.
Was it Polestar? Who was the bought your most albums? Like
no. Well, Polestar is like ticket sales.
You're talking about.
I used to have to look at
that. I can't remember
SoundScan?
what it was.
Yeah, SoundScan.
One.
Yeah,
SoundScan's
yeah.
one.
What is it?
SoundScan, and then you had one for radio,
So
and then
they
you
would
had
have
media-based BDS.
yeah.
They would have me studying that, and
Yeah.
something very weird is and this is going to Eminem. His highest selling of his album was in Seattle, not even Detroit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck,
I
Seattle?
think those numbers never make sense.
Like
It's
they
always
never did make sense.
But they do make sense.
But they do make
You
sense.
see what I'm saying?
So now you know where to go.
You're thinking
that's the
you're
influence
thinking
one.
one way, and you're stuck on your way of thinking, when that is not the reality, right? It's the data is telling you what it is. So if you are resisting the data, you're doing yourself a disservice, because now you can go get that money in Seattle all day long, and then Seattle spreads to Portland. Portland spreads to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City spreads to Idaho. Then that's how we broke. There it is. We could have stayed in the Southeast, but there was too many records in the Southeast, so we went and we kept everybody confined to the Southeast, and we took the rest of the country.
What would you say what was your favorite place, I guess, to play? All over, even if it was out of the.
We've been so many places. I could just
say
tell
U.S. just off the U.S. to start.
I could tell you our best show ever was the Hippodrome in London, because we weren't even supposed to perform. It was CeCe Peniston's show. This was like '94.
Oh wow! I was just talking.
And we're over in London, and we're supposed to do something the next day. And I went into the Hip, and it looked like Mad Max, and it looked like that, with like 1,000 people just all over. And the stage rose up out of the ground with not hydroponics, but hydraulics. I'm looking at that thing over there. That's a whole nother story. Yeah. And I was like, hey, man, can we perform? I went to the radio program director. I said, hey, man, can we perform? We just want to perform. Woo. They're like, hell yeah, you can. We got in a London taxi, went back to the hotel to get the DAT. So you know I'm telling the truth because I said that.
Yeah.
That
got the
machine.
dat.
What's a dat?
That was like that never like it never got mainstream. Like it was like a tape, but a smaller
Yeah,
like
no.
better
That means
technology supposedly.
Digital
Okay,
audio
okay,
tape.
okay.
Yeah. So it was a little bitty tape like
But
that.
it was
I
never
used to
used
carry-
outside of the
Yeah,
industry.
yeah.
Like, it never got in the home.
I carried the dat.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's like it was like someone bringing a flash drive at these days.
we went and they took us down the basement and we came up. And when I said party people,
Oh.
that is the most energy I've ever felt from an audience. And they were so happy. And it was just incredible. And I'll never forget it. Now, in the United States, doing the Budweiser Superfest was epic. Because we were on tour with SWV, MC Light, Belle Biv DeVoe, Shy.
Shy.
Yep, Shy. Who else? MC Light, and sometimes Queen Latifah.
Damn.
Yep, and Silk.
So,
Right?
Damn.
Yeah. So they just mixed it up, and
Yeah.
we opened, right? So back then, that was your ego was bruised a little bit because you got to open. Now, I love to open because then I get to go home.
Yeah,
But at the same time, we're the tip of the sword because we come out with such energy. Everybody else is like, damn, I don't want to even go up after them.
hard to follow that.
You got to
up.
go after us.
Yeah.
I make sure that it's like that. That's why every show we do is different. I'll make the show that day. I might come 2 days early just so I can sit in the hotel room and make the show. Mix all that stuff up, cut it up, boom, boom, boom. Go out, listen to it in the car, come back. Old school, right? Mm-hmm. Make that thing 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes on a dot. All you got to do is push one button. And boom, it's energy the whole time. Dropouts, bringbacks, zooms up, zoom down, make the crowd do this, make them do that. By the time it's over, what the fuck just happened?
yeah, that's crazy.
Hey,
Like,
that's-
Them motherfuckers was
I
jamming.
expected these guys to come do one
felt.
song and they just did 20
No.
minutes of just energy.
But that comes from, experience, right? You put us anywhere and we're going to do the same thing because I'm going to do the research. I'm going to know where I'm at. I'm going to look at the crowd. Like Steve often asks me, man, what we doing tonight? I was like, I don't know until I get there, right? Like, I wore myself early out in the day during Fremont because sound check, it was packed down there. So I performed twice. Because I did sound check myself.
That's a hard venue to sound check
yeah.
because
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, 'cause
everyone's
everybody's
there
still
anyways.
there.
Yeah.
Everybody said, "Whoom." It was 500 people in front, and that's like crack rock to me.
Yeah.
I went hard. That was the best sound check. That was a performance. Then I took pictures and signed autographs and everything, drank beer with people, and we had a good time. And people appreciate that shit. They
Yeah, they
really
do.
do, man. And that's what makes it special.
Gives it that longevity, too.
That's what keeps me going. I know I can do this forever. So that is part of it. But really, the part I love is that I never give up, right? Like I started my whole self-help thing. I had to swallow my pride and go back to the club, right? Because I thought I could, all right, you want to keep my money? I'm about to sue y'all. I got a little bit of money. They got a lot of money. My little bit of money was gone, right? So I had to go back. But I went back to DJing. DJing has always saved my life. But then when
That was a song, right?
Yep.
A DJ saved my life.
Hey, but it really saved my life because then now I get to hustle again. But I'm on a whole nother perspective of hustling because now I'm into the self-help thing. I'm learning from Anthony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and all this stuff. I'm like, wow. I'm trying to apply it to the street game.
What do you think of Gary Vee?
Incredible.
Incredible. Okay, good.
But see, that's the
our guy.
Here's the beauty of it. Everybody wonders how does he make his money?
Yeah,
I know how he makes his money. It took me years to figure out how Grant Cardone and all these cats make their money. I know how they make their money now.
How do they make
Please
the
tell
money?
me on Gary Vee
come on.
because
So Gary Vee.
I know it's not from garage sailing.
Nah, but it can be.
can
Okay,
be.
so think about it. Think about it, man. He started off selling the wine, right?
Yep.
So if I'm selling wine and I'm doing my marketing, well, let me get with some people and cut them a piece on every bottle I sell. So if a bottle's $30, let me give them $5. That's called affiliate marketing. But if I come to you and say, hey, man, I'm in affiliate marketing, you start thinking Ponzi scheme, Bernie Madoff, flowers, all pyramid schemes, all that crap, because it's so many different intricacies of marketing, and they're mostly scams. But if you got people who know SEO or know how to market, and you cut them in on a piece, now you got 50 people marketing for you on your product, you're selling a whole lot of product. Because you're cutting everybody a piece.
I always wondered that because, I hear they do stuff out here, like affiliate shows. And I'm like, what are
you could do that with real estate. You could do that with real estate courses. You could do that with anything, because all it is, what's the restaurant everybody loves in Vegas? What's the restaurant you love?
Barry's Steakhouse.
Okay, so Barry's Steakhouse.
Shout out to Richard Wilk on that one.
Yeah, so you like Barry's Steakhouse, and you swear by it, and you tell people about it. And like, you got to go to Barry's Steakhouse. But when you go, take this little piece of paper and give it to them so they know that I sent you. So they go, they have a good time, boom, boom, boom. Everything is great. They spend $400 on the dinner. Next thing you know, you get a check in the mail for $20. The more people you tell, the more $20 you get. So if you could tell 100 people $20, that's just one thing you use. If there's a hair care product you like, if there's a mascara that you like, everything, when I say you are enough because you help you can help other products sell their product and get a cut. Like, right, that's why I'm going back and forth to San Francisco. I'm affiliate for I'm gonna be affiliate for GTP, for all these AI companies, because I know that I can sell, but I never say AI. I say, I got a piece of software that, I have a tool. That's what I say. I have a tool that helps a high school kid learn and become a better writer at the same time. He would struggle with writing, but now he writes flawlessly. He's better at it, and he enjoys it now. That's such a better story than I use this AI software, and I can just push a button and it makes my stuff for me.
That's how you're presenting.
Because that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's all scared, like, I was going to take over. They're going to take my job. That's not how it works. You have to know how to use it. You use it because this is what it did for me. What would take me 3 months to do, I can now do in 2 hours. Because all we got is time. And anybody got no time to waste. Right? So I know how to promote their product. So if I teach people how to use it, because everybody wants to use it, how do I do that? Well, I use a software called SEMrush that tells me how many people are searching a month for something. How can I be a better writer? Somebody woke up in their drawers and typed that into Google because they struggle writing, right? Every day we get up and we type something into Google because we need a question answered. Well, if I'm on the other end and I see that there's 7,000 people asking that question and I got the solution to it, I could just write a blog post, be like, you do this, just like I'm doing this podcast. I could take this podcast, transcribe it, take the pieces that I know can sell something, expand upon it. Now I got a blog post and I'm answering somebody's questions in full. And they're like, all I got to use is that software and it'll show me how to do this. Yep. And I'll make more videos to show you how to use it better. And then you could do a mastermind. I'll have a mastermind and you could pay me to consult with you. Or I'll send you to somebody that could teach you. Right? So now what have I done? I've just mentioned 4 products that help me in my hustle. For one product, I get $200 if someone signs up. Another product, I get a recurring fee of a percentage, 10, 15% if they sign up. Another one, I might get 50%. Because it's a big ticket item, but they're all things I use to help me hustle, right? So now the recurring is the best one because we all got gym memberships and they all recur. And you're like, damn, I done paid a whole year and ain't been in this motherfucker, right? But if somebody else hooked you up with that, you might pay $50 a month, but they get 10.
What do you think of the OnlyFans?
But see,
that's reoccurring.
No, it is reoccurring. But see, there's nobody helping somebody. If a person has, if I was a hot, beautiful, voluptuous babe doing my thing on OnlyFans, I would have people out there blowing me up who knew how to market, and I would give them a cut. That's how you do it. It's like, if I'm getting this recurring fee, if they're paying $20 from me, let me give you $5. Now you're going to go out and you're going to blow her up because you're already a fan, but you know how to do digital marketing. So now you're going to bring thousands of people to her, and you get that little $5, but she get 15 when she wouldn't have got 15 doing it by herself, because you got to get out there and you got to get in front of people. And then now you're in competition with everybody else.
Yes.
So if everybody's out there doing the same thing, you can't win. You can win because it's full, right? But you know the game. The game is there's a new one coming. That's why I love the club. That's why I've never had a woman, because there's always a new girl every day. Every day.
365.
And this was my thing at the strip club. I would get a big box of candy. Old school candy. Jolly Ranchers, Twix, Sugar Daddies, all your favorite childhood candy. Be full to the rim, big ass box. And now every girl in the club is coming to the DJ booth, getting candy.
Hell yeah.
Now I impose my will. Any new girl, hey, you want some candy? Shit, yeah. Oh my God, I like that DJ. He got candy. But now I get to impose my will. Say, so what's up? How you doing? What's your name? Let me teach you how to get this money, okay? And then I become their mother, their brother, their uncle, their pimp, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Whatever
it takes.
Whatever they need.
Whatever they need, I become that, right? Because some people think they need certain things, but then I'm also educating them like, you ain't got to do that. I taught a lot of girls how to, I would send them to Edward Jones. I'd be like, just go talk to the lady. She can help you. Now I got girls with a book at the end of the night writing down how much they made, because they're now in a C Corp, and they now get to take full advantage of all the tax breaks that Bill Gates gets. And all the tax breaks that, Elon Musk gets. That's why they pay zero in taxes, because that system is designed for corporations.
So that's a C Corp?
C Corp.
C Corp. See, everybody's talking LLC, right?
Yeah.
Get an LLC. Get an LLC. Well, LLC, LLC is good. I can't knock it, right? But LLC don't get the same tax breaks as a C Corp. It's limited. Limited liability corporation.
Do you think you're still covered just as much with the C Corp as you are in LLC?
What do you mean covered?
Like, when they say,
You're talking about the personal and the business separation.
yeah,
That's all it's for.
Yeah, that's
But that's why, that's literally what it's for, is so you can say you looking for a tax haven, right? To where I need shelter from tax for my company, right? So now you're an LLC. But you can combine the LLCs with a C Corp. A C Corp could run an LLC. A LLC could run a C Corp. There's all kind of combinations you could do. I just stick with the C Corp because I do my own bookkeeping. Damn, DC, why don't you pay somebody? No, because they do it wrong. Now I know every penny goes, I know where every penny goes. And that's one of those hustles that I can say, okay, y'all want to learn how to do your own books so y'all can keep more of your money? Here's what I did. That's why the name of my new site that's coming is called thisiswhatIdo.net.
.net.
That's all it is.
This is .com already?
No, yeah, but that's it's cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna SEO it to where it don't even matter if it's .com, .io,
Right.
whatever.
You're
It's gonna be
get all the hits anyways.
I'm gonna be the first on every learning page there is. Right? One's called learnhowtolearn.com. That's for just the average people. And then the other one's called putyouongame.com. That's for us street folks.
yeah.
Because then I can talk like myself and write like myself and put people on game and come up with practical solutions on how to do shit.
See, this is what I want to do with OnlyFans and hustling on webcam, because it is a.
So
if you just jump into it, you ain't gonna know what to do.
Exactly, but if you do your own bookkeeping, you learn how to use. Well, how do you use QuickBooks? QuickBooks was very difficult, but I found a tutor. I got a company called OutterBox Technology. Right? I got a lady. Her name Mary Hunter. I could spend an hour with her. I spent 3 sessions with her. I knew how to use QuickBooks. If I get stuck, I got somebody I can call and we can do an hour and I can record it. Now I got it forever. I got every session we've ever done recorded. Right? I started voiceover in 2009. Every session I got It's recorded. I record everything. If I'm paying for it, I'm recording it. If I'm paying for a class, I'm recording it. Yeah. Now I got archives of all kind of stuff. So when the pandemic came, pandemic's the greatest thing ever happened to me.